Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the operating system debugging. We know that debugging is a process of finding and fixing errors within an operating system, both hardware and software. Now sometimes the performance errors can be also bugs. So performance tuning can be done with the help of finding the bottlenecks. So today we will discuss about that how failure analysis and performance tuning can help in the OS debugging. If a process fails, then the error information must be written to a log file and kept it in the memory area to alert the user about the error has occurred. And sometimes a memory dump or a code dump is taken and an error message is generated according to that. Now the running program and the code dump can be propped into the hardware programmer to take into account for the consideration of programming at a later stage. Debugging the user-level processes are a challenge, and the kernel-level processes debugging are even more harder because of the size and complexity of the kernel, the control of the hardware, and the lack of user-level debugging tools. This lack of debugging tools can make up the debugging technique a little bit harder and challenging. A failure in kernel is known as a crash, and when a crash occurs, the dump of memory is known as a crash dump that is written to a file for later analysis. The failure in a kernel is known as a crash. When a crash occurs, the error information is saved into a log file and the memory state is saved to a crash dump. Now the processing debugging and operating system debugging have too many different tools because of these two reasons. For instance, if a kernel fails the file system within that, then to write this error information including this file state would be risky before the rebooting because the file state is at risk already. So if we write the state information and error information in the file system itself, then we cannot fetch it at the later time. So before rebooting, there is a disk section operated only for this purpose that the error state information must be written to it. When a crash occurs, this crash dump is saved into this disk, and when the rebooting is done, then the memory is re-emptied from this crash dump and logged it into the main memory to fetch the actual operation. Next part is performance tuning. As we have already told that performance tuning seeks to improve the performance by finding the bottlenecks in the system. To identify these bottlenecks, the system behavior should be monitored. Now the operating system must provide some means of computing and displaying this operating system behavior to find the bottlenecks and inefficiencies. Trace listing is an example and process of doing this behavior monitoring. Now on trace listing, the important events that are logged onto the computer system with their number are written to a log file. For later analysis, the programmer can use this log file and monitor the system's behavior, that how the user and the operating resources has behaved in this way. So the bottlenecks and inefficiencies can be reduced in this way. The same traces can be used as an input for simulation of an improved suggested system, and the traces can be used to finding and fixing errors too. Now there is one other approach of a single user and interactive tool that allows the system administrator to question the state of various system components about the information of the errors or interrupt that has already occurred. The bottlenecks in this are identified by the state and various components of a system. For a Unix command top, it lists all the top users that are using the resources. Other tools display the state of the disk I/O, memory management, and network traffics. Windows Task Manager is also a type of this tool. It gives us the information about the current process along with the disk I/O, the memory management, CPU scheduling information and all. So this way performance tuning and failure analysis can help in debugging the OS, both hardware and software. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned with Ekeeda and subscribe to Ekeeda.